Jordan Spieth's comeback, playoff hopes and future predictions. Jordan Spieth's journey this season has been nothing short of a gripping comeback story, fueled by one bold ambition: to secure a spot on the Ryder Cup team once again. At the start of the year, this goal was his highest priority, a beacon guiding his recovery and return to form. But here's where it gets interesting. Coming off late August wrist surgery, Spieth missed the early tournaments and faced the daunting challenge of clawing back into contention after a significant layoff. When Spieth finally returned to competition at Pebble Beach in late January, he found himself far behind in the race for Ryder Cup points, trailing many of his American peers. Fast forward to the present, and he's now positioned 27th among US Ryder Cup hopefuls heading into the crucial Wyndham Championship. The closing event of the regular season, held at Sedgefield Country Club. It feels like a bonus stemming from hitting some key targets in the upcoming weeks, Spieth explained. Currently sitting 50th in FedEx Cup points, he's comfortably inside the cut to start next week's playoffs in Memphis. Yet precariously close when it comes to qualifying for the BMW Championship. This tournament holds extra weight because 6 players automatically qualify for the Ryder Cup following the BMW, with 6 more chosen as captain's picks after the Tour Championship. These points don't just determine entry to the playoffs, they shape opportunities for next year's biggest prize events on tour. Spieth knows he's on the fringe, candidly acknowledging the uphill battle. If I can find a hot streak and consistently place high, maybe snag a win, I could make a strong case for selection. But I'm definitely on the outside looking in. Considering the injury setbacks last year and a late season start this year, it was always going to be a challenge. My biggest chances have mainly been the majors this year, and unfortunately, they carry a lot of weight for team qualification. Experience, however, is Spieth's ally. Having represented the US in 5 consecutive Ryder Cups since his 2014 debut, he holds an overall record of 8-7-3, although his recent performances have dipped to 1-4-3 in the last 2 events. Not one to shy away from pressure, Spieth's Ryder Cup history also includes consistent appearances at the President's Cup, missing only the 2019 edition since his 2013 debut. Despite missing a high finish at the Open just 2 weeks ago, competing in Greensboro was a given for Spieth. He took a well-timed 3-week break after withdrawing from the Travelers' Championship due to a rare neck injury, which has since fully healed. He also elected out of last week's 3M Open after a respectable tie for 40th at Royal Portrush. In the midst of these tournaments, Spieth and his wife Annie joyfully welcomed their 3rd child, Sully, adding a special personal milestone to a demanding professional year. During his brief pause and family time, Spieth's ranking slightly dipped, from 38th down to holding the last automatic qualifying spot for signature events. Throughout this season, he has already notched 4 top 10 finishes and 8 results within the top 25. Showing consistent competitiveness despite challenges. It's important to highlight that Spieth, though granted sponsor exemptions into 6 of the 8 elevated elite fields this year, all except one, is keenly aware of the limitations of this approach. Relying on exemptions is not something I want to do again, he admitted. I've been lucky to receive several this season, but there's always uncertainty. Those elevated events gather the world's best players, and missing out feels like missed opportunities. That's exactly why I'm here now, trying to secure my place the hard way. Looking ahead, Spieth is hopeful and realistic about the pressure of the next few weeks. It would be fantastic to have a breakout performance here and ease the stress for next week. But if not, I'm prepared to handle the pressure of sitting near that 50th point ranking, hoping a strong start can lift that weight. At 32 years old, Spieth's outlook for the future is optimistic. In his post-round media session on Wednesday, he shared a confident vision. I truly believe next year will be a breakthrough season for me. Everything's aligning. I'll be healthy, my swing mechanics are nearly dialed in. With a solid off-season, I expect to reach or surpass the levels I've achieved before. But here's the part most people miss. Can Spieth overcome the physical and mental hurdles from recent setbacks and translate that potential into major victories and Ryder Cup glory? Is he poised to reclaim his spot among golf's elite? Or will the lingering doubts from injuries and form dips continue to hold him back? What do you think? Does Jordan have what it takes to rise again? Or has time shifted the tides for him? Share your thoughts and let's discuss. Jordan Spieth eyes championship comeback. Confident game 2025 breakthrough. Jordan Spieth believes his game is on the verge of a breakthrough, despite what the scoreboard suggests. As he prepares for the 2025 Wyndham Championship, the three-time major champion finds himself in a season that many would consider underwhelming. This week marks his 17th tournament of the year, yet he has only managed to secure 2 top 5 finishes and 7 top 20 placements. Throughout the season, Spieth has struggled to maintain a strong presence in weekend competitions, with the exception of a notable performance at the WM Phoenix Open in early February, and a promising surge during moving day at the Memorial Tournament, where he ultimately faltered in the final stretch. However, despite the lack of standout results, Spieth is optimistic that the fundamental aspects of his game are significantly stronger than what his current statistics indicate. And he has a point. There have been 9 holes where I just couldn't find my rhythm. I could have easily been 4 under on those holes, which would have ignited a solid round. Instead, I had stretches of poor iron shots that derailed my chances, leading to finishes between 7th and 13th, rather than being in contention, Spieth explained as he looked ahead to the Wyndham Championship. It's really about achieving consistency in my ball striking and putting. Both areas are performing above average, and I'm gaining strokes on the field overall. What I'm aiming for now is to see consistent improvements round after round. I've shown that I can do this day in and day out, whether I'm playing at home or on tour. Things have started to click for me recently, so now it's all about executing when it counts. Currently, Spieth ranked 16th on the PGA Tour in total strokes gained, which statistically positions him as a top 20 player this season. He has outperformed notable winners like Ryan Fox, Victor Hovland, Chris Gothrop, Kurt Kitayama, Harris English and Andrew Novak, yet he finds himself trailing many of them in the FedEx Cup standings. As the postseason approaches, Spieth is teetering on the edge of qualification. Entering the Wyndham Championship, he sits at number 50 in the season-long race, a precarious position considering the importance of finishing within the top 50. Those who achieve this milestone will not only qualify for the second week of the postseason, the BMW Championship, but will also gain entry into all 8 signature events in 2026. These prestigious tournaments offer a safety net for the top players on the PGA Tour, featuring limited fields, no cuts, and increased prize funds and FedEx Cup points. In 2025, Spieth participated in these elite events, but not due to his performance. Rather, he relied on sponsor invitations to secure his spots. I really didn't enjoy asking for exemptions this year. I was fortunate to receive several, but it's always uncertain. Missing out on elevated events is tough because they attract the best players in the world and you don't want to miss any of them. That's a significant reason I'm here. When I took a break, I dropped from 38th to 39th and then all the way down to 48th just by not competing. It would be great to have a strong performance this week to alleviate some of that pressure for next week. But I'm fully prepared to feel the stress of that 50 number. And ideally, a solid start this week or next will help ease that burden. Last year, Spieth entered the Wyndham Championship amid news of an upcoming off-season procedure to relieve pain in his left wrist. He had hoped to improve his post-season standing but fell short, missing the cut in his first appearance at Sedgefield Country Club in 4 years, and subsequently failing to qualify for the BMW Championship after another disappointing performance at the St. Jude Championship the following week. This year, however, Spieth arrives with a more positive outlook and improved health. He is convinced that he is on the right track to playing better golf consistently and believes he is just one off-season away from regaining his former prowess. Nevertheless, he hopes to delay that off-season as long as possible, with the Wyndham Championship potentially serving as a springboard for his success. To get off to a good start, I need to focus on playing my game without overthinking it. But of course, there's that added pressure that I wish I didn't have to deal with, and it's just part of this year's challenges. I missed the first month of the season and had to skip a few other events for various reasons, so I really want to finish strong this year. But I have a strong feeling that next year is going to be a great one for me. Everything is coming together. I'll be healthy, and my putting mechanics are getting really close to where they need to be. A solid off-season should set me up to return to my best form. That's my goal. What do you think? Do you believe Spieth can turn his season around and reclaim his top form? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Jordan Spieth warns Scottie, Scheffler and Rory McIlroy ahead of 2026 PGA Tour season. Jordan Spieth issues a bold challenge to Scottie, Scheffler and Rory McIlroy ahead of the 2026 PGA Tour season. Despite being winless for over 3 years, the 3-time major champion, Jordan Spieth, is optimistic about a potential comeback. He envisions 2026 as the year he could achieve his greatest success on the PGA Tour. And this is the part most people miss. Spieth's confidence isn't just blind optimism. It's rooted in his recent recovery from injuries that have plagued him for several seasons. At 32, Spieth has faced a series of setbacks, including a wrist injury that required surgery and kept him out of the second half of 2024. The initial injury occurred in May 2023 when his extensor carpi ulnaris tendon, ECU, dislocated. More recently, he also dealt with shoulder and neck issues, forcing him to withdraw from the Travelers' Championship and the Genesis Scottish Open. Despite these challenges, Spieth managed to compete in all 4 majors this season. His best performance was a tied 14th place at the Masters, with less impressive finishes at the US PGA, US Open and the Open. However, there were glimmers of hope with 4 top 10 finishes, including 2 4th-place results at the WM Phoenix Open and the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Unfortunately, these inconsistent results and missed events have taken a toll on his rankings. Spieth currently stands at 50th in the FedEx Cup standings and 51st in the world rankings. He is also 27th in the US Ryder Cup standings, making a spot on the team unlikely unless he can secure a win in the next few weeks. To improve his standing, Spieth is participating in the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield Country Club in North Carolina. This tournament could provide the boost he needs before the FedEx Cup playoffs begin next week. I didn't like asking for exemptions this year, Spieth reflected. I was fortunate to receive a lot of them, but you just never know. When you miss out on elevated events where the best players in the world compete, you don't want to miss them. That's a big reason why I'm here. Spieth acknowledges the pressure of his current position, but remains determined. It would be nice to have a huge boost this week and not have to worry about it next week, but I'm fully prepared to have some stress next week on that 50 number. A good week here or next week takes the weight off. Looking ahead to 2026, Spieth is confident in his ability to return to form. Next year is going to be a really good year for me. I can feel it. Everything is coming together. My health, my putting, and my mechanics. One good off-season should get me back to being as good as I've ever been, and that's my goal. Of course, Spieth's friend and rival, Scottie Scheffler, might have something to say about that. But for now, Spieth's words are a welcome sign for his fans. who have been waiting for him to break through since his last PGA Tour win in April 2022 at the RBC Heritage. What do you think? Will Spieth's prediction come true, or is it too ambitious? Share your thoughts in the comments.